This video brings us to a tense moment shared by a group of friends in what appears to be a typical apartment. The atmosphere is thick with unease as they investigate persistent, unexplained noises echoing from the back of the home. The camera follows them through narrow hallways, capturing their frantic whispers and the genuine fear in their eyes. There's no script here, just the raw reaction of people facing something they can't quite identify. As they approach the bathroom, the energy shifts and the group prepares for a confrontation they never expected to record. Watch the doorway carefully as the group enters the final room.
Están escuchando más fuerte.
The fiery structure.
Se viene de revenge.
I don't know.
Se está escuchando desde
¿Hola? ¿Hay alguien ahí?
hermano, no.
Creatures. Shoot. You took the camera. Wait. You recorded
The detail at the 45-second mark is what has everyone talking. Some viewers believe a physical entity was hiding behind the shower curtain, specifically because of the way the head moves with a distinct humanoid weight. Others argue this is a highly coordinated prank, suggesting a friend could have been positioned there before the filming started. Skeptics also point out that the low-light conditions and shaky camera movements can easily obscure wires or simple physical masks. Despite the skepticism, the group's panic seems incredibly authentic, leaving a lingering sense of dread. Was this a genuine intruder from another realm or a calculated attempt at a viral scare? The way that face vanishes into the shadows is a moment that sticks with you long after the screen goes black. I want to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments. Is this enough to make you move out, or just a clever play of light? Let me know your theory down below. Coming to us from TikTok user Chair Lucero, we are taken into a basement that feels like it's frozen in time. The wood-paneled walls and steep carpeted staircase set a nostalgic but eerie stage for what the uploader claims is a recurring haunting. As the camera descends into the storage area, the silence is heavy, broken only by the sound of footsteps and a growing sense of being watched. The uploader is convinced they aren't alone, and as they pan the camera across the cluttered room, something moves in the background that simply shouldn't be there. Keep a close watch on the gaps between the shelving and the refrigerator.
So that bathroom.
Yeah. So.
And that goes.
The movement behind the white appliance is subtle but undeniable. You can see a dark human-shaped form pass through the frame with surprising speed. It doesn't appear to be a simple shadow, but something with mass. As the uploader tries to find where the figure went, the atmosphere in the basement becomes even more suffocating. Pay attention to the door at the end of the hall as the search continues. The total disappearance of the figure is the most unsettling part of this footage. Some viewers believe this is a classic shadow person encounter, specifically because of the way the form seems to absorb the surrounding light. Others argue it could be a resident hiding in a well-placed alcove, using the clutter of the basement to their advantage. Skeptics also point out that the quick camera pans could easily hide a person exiting through a side door. However, the uploader insists that the basement was locked and they were the only ones home. This creates a terrifying scenario of a presence that can simply vanish into thin air. Do you think there's a logical explanation for where they went, or are we looking at something truly paranormal? Share your theories in the comments section. This one definitely leaves a cold feeling in the room. I'll be waiting to see what you think about Cher's basement guest. This black and white security footage captures a quiet night that takes a very sudden dark turn. In what looks like a bedroom or a shared living space, one person is seen resting while another sits at a desk, completely unaware of the perimeter. The grainy quality of the video adds a layer of grit to the scene, making every small movement in the background feel significant. Security cameras like this are designed to catch intruders, but sometimes they catch things that defy a standard explanation. As the seated man focuses on his task, watch the area behind him near the doorway and window. Something is about to pass through that shouldn't be inside the house. The way that figure glides past the door is incredibly haunting. Some viewers believe it is a residual haunting, specifically because of the rhythmic, almost mechanical way the entity moves through the space. Others argue this is simply a person walking outside a window, and the reflection on the glass is creating the illusion of them being inside. Skeptics also point out that digital artifacts in low bitrate security footage can create ghosting effects that look like transparent figures. But the reaction of the person in the room suggests they felt a sudden shift in the air. The timing of the movement is perfect, appearing just as the room falls into a deep silence. Was it an intruder, a reflection, or something else entirely? This clip has sparked massive debates online since it first surfaced. Tell me what you see in the frames. Did the figure look solid to you, or was it something more spectral? Drop a comment below and let's discuss this nighttime visitor. We are just getting started with tonight's evidence. From faces in bathrooms to figures vanishing in basements, the world of the unexplained is closer than we think. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the unknown, make sure to subscribe to Pale Playback. We bring you new evidence every week, analyzing every frame to find the truth. Now, prepare yourselves, because the next set of videos takes us to even more remote and abandoned locations where the silence is anything but empty. In this unsettling exploration from El Salvador, we follow a group into a bus graveyard located in the Soyapango region. This area is known for its heavy history, and at night the rows of abandoned vehicles take on a menacing quality. The explorers are documenting the decay when they notice something impossible. The lights of a long-dead bus suddenly flicker to life. There is no power running to these vehicles, and the engines have been stripped for years. The team moves closer, their flashlights cutting through the thick darkness, trying to understand how a mechanical system could reactivate on its own in such a desolate place. Keep your eyes on the windows of the red and white bus.
Miren. Está encendido, ve. Están encendidos.
The glow from those taillights is too bright to be a simple reflection. It looks like a surge of energy hit the system, but as they move to the side of the bus, something even more disturbing occurs inside the cabin. Watch the interior lighting as it seems to respond to their presence, as if someone is sitting in the driver's seat, watching them approach.
Están encendidos. Se han encendido las luces del bus.
Estará abierta la puerta.
No sé. Está encendida la luz del bus, bichos. Miren, bichos. Miren, bichos. Bichos. Miren, bichos.
The interior flash is unmistakable, and you can almost see a silhouette through the cracked glass. The explorers are visibly shaken, but they decide to push further into the lot. The most terrifying encounter, however, is still waiting for them near the blue bus at the back of the property. Keep a very close eye on the open doors of the second vehicle.
Miren, bichos. Miremos si no hay nadie adentro. Miremos si no hay nadie adentro.
That figure standing by the door is the definition of a nightmare. Some viewers believe this is the spirit of a former driver, specifically because of the way the entity appears to be guarding the entrance to the bus. Others argue it's a squatter or a local resident trying to scare off the urban explorers with a well-timed appearance. Skeptics also point out that the heavy pixelation in the zoom makes it difficult to distinguish a person from a stack of discarded seats or debris. However, the way the figure seems to manifest and then fade as the light hits it is hard to explain away as a physical object. The graveyard of buses seems to hold more than just scrap metal. It holds memories that don't want to be disturbed. What do you think was standing in that doorway? Was it a person or something that belonged to the bus? Leave your theories in the comments. This El Salvadorian mystery is one for the books. Our next video comes from the Paraworld and features footage recorded on a nanny cam during a game of hide and seek. What was supposed to be a playful family evening took a chilling turn when the father reviewed the recordings. As he counts down, the camera captures a figure that shouldn't be in the house, moving with a strange, deliberate speed. The home is quiet, and the layout is familiar, which makes the presence of an unidentified guest even more disturbing. Pay close attention to the bedroom doorway in the background as the father moves toward the bed. The anomaly appears for just a fraction of a second, but its impact is lasting. The figure appearing in the door is absolutely terrifying when you realize the family was alone. Some viewers believe this is a classic mimic entity, specifically because it seems to be participating in the game of hide and seek. Others argue it is a simple reflection of the father as he moves, distorted by the low resolution of the camera. Skeptics also point out that in a house with children, toys, and hanging clothes can often be mistaken for human shapes in the dark, but the way that form moves independently across the hallway suggests something with its own intent. The father's reaction when he finally sees the footage is one of pure shock. It's the kind of thing that makes you want to check every closet in the house twice. Do you think it was just a shadow? Or was something playing along with them that night? I'm curious to see your analysis in the comments. Don't forget to tell us if you've ever caught something unexplained on your own home cameras. This final video in our current batch comes from Haunted House 84 and shows a living room that seems to be the center of significant activity. A man is seen going about his nightly routine, completely oblivious to the fact that his every move is being watched. The room is brightly lit and filled with personal items, making the eventual anomaly stand out with startling clarity. It's a reminder that even in the most mundane moments, we might not be as alone as we think. Watch the top right corner of the frame, near the decorative shelf in the wall, just after the man leaves the room to the left. The face peeking from the top corner is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. Some viewers believe this is a demonic entity specifically because of the unnatural height and the way it seems to emerge from the ceiling area. Others argue it's a person hidden in a crawl space or an attic access point waiting for the homeowner to leave. Skeptics also point out that a well-placed mask or a mannequin head on a pole could easily recreate this effect for a staged video. But the way the eyes seem to catch the light and follow the man's movement is a detail that is hard to fake. This house has a reputation for being haunted, and this footage only adds fuel to the fire. Was it a prank, or is there something lurking in the walls of this home? I want to know what you think. Does that look like a real face to you? Let's hear your thoughts down in the comments. The evidence tonight has been staggering. From the bus graveyard in El Salvador to the chilling faces in private homes, these captures leave us with more questions than answers. If you're finding these investigations as unsettling as we are, hit that subscribe button and join the Pale Playback community. We release new evidence every week, digging deep into the archives of the unexplained. We have one more video to show you tonight, and it might just be the most mysterious one yet. Stay tuned. Our final piece of evidence takes us back to the late 90s, featuring grainy store security footage that has recently resurfaced. A man is seen browsing the shelves, a mundane activity that takes an impossible turn. The vintage quality of the recording lends a certain weight to the events, as digital editing was far less accessible during this era. In the aisles of this store, something is caught on camera that defies the laws of physics. Keep your eyes on the shelves directly behind the man as he moves from one section to the next. Something is about to fall, but the way it moves is anything but natural. The first item falls with a strange propelled force. It doesn't just tip over, it seems to be pushed. But the activity doesn't stop there. As the man continues his search, another object on the top shelf prepares to move. Watch the very top of the rack as he turns the corner. The events in that store are a perfect example of how the unexplained can manifest in the most public of places. Some viewers believe this is clear evidence of a poltergeist, specifically because of the repetitive and forceful nature of the objects falling. Others argue it could be a result of structural vibrations, or even a prank by a store employee using thin fishing lines. Skeptics also point out that old security tapes are prone to magnetic interference, which can sometimes create visual distortions that look like moving objects. However, the way those items leave the shelf suggests an external force was applied. As we wrap up tonight's investigation, we are left with a collection of moments that challenge our understanding of reality. From the dark corners of modern apartments to the grainy aisles of a 90s store, these captures serve as a reminder that the world is much stranger than it appears. Whether these are clever deceptions or glimpses into a world we don't yet understand, the feeling they leave behind is undeniably real. Thank you for joining us on Pale Playback. Your theories and insights are what keep this investigation alive, so make sure to drop a comment below and share your thoughts on tonight's evidence. Which video was the most convincing to you? We'll be back next week with even more deep dives into the unknown. Until then, keep your eyes open and your cameras rolling, because you never know what might be watching from the shadows. Good night, and stay safe.